Hey, this is April Martin from Tennessee with Nerium International, and today I want to talk to you about one really important part of our Nerium business, and that's called our Product Prospecting System, or PPS, if you want to call it that. And this is something very important, and it will take you a little while to get accustomed to doing this, and it's taken me over a year, and I still make mistakes at it. But I just want to explain to you the process and what that is. So the product prospecting system is how we take our product, Nerium AD, and how we introduce that to our prospect. Your prospect is the person, friend, whoever that person happens to be that wants to try the Nerium sample for a week. And this is what our bottle looks like. Now, in the United States, it's called Nerium, but outside the United States, you'll see Optimera here. The bottle looks exactly the same. It just has a slightly different formula. It's called Optimera. But this is what our bottle looks like. And what I always do, let's say that I have someone that wants to try a sample. Some people do a sample for 5 nights. Some people prefer to do 7 nights. You can typically get, if you do 5 nights, you'll be able to use this one bottle with 7 people if they use the recommended number of pumps, which is 4 to 5 pumps out of the bottle. If you use it with 7 people, you'll be able to get 5 prospects out of one bottle. And that can vary a little bit because some people don't use the whole 4 to 5 pumps like they're supposed to, or maybe they skip a night, but pretty much. I tend to do the 5 night, and that way I can use the bottle with more prospects. I get more use out of it. One thing I did want to mention, on everything that you have with Nerium, you want to make sure that you put your business labels. If you can see this, I have my label on the side of it with my name, my phone number, my website address, and this is a tiny label, but I have some that are bigger that have my email address as well. But I put this on everything because sometimes people, life happens. Somebody move away, forget to give you the bottle. Sometimes you may never hear from the person again. They want to keep your bottle. It's so popular. But always label all of your products, and that includes your brochures. That includes your magazines. This is one of the magazines that we have with the company called Success from Home. And you'll see down here I've got my label. I like to use the bright colored labels because they just attract attention. People notice them, catch people's eye. And I'll point out too, inside this magazine there is a DVD. So for people that maybe don't have email, that you couldn't send a video to, they might just want to watch the DVD. So I always include this, and I'll mention this too, that this is how I like to do it. People do it differently. I like to take a little gift bag. This one's a little big. A smaller one would probably be a little bit better. But I like to put my bottle inside the gift bag. And I usually put up one of our magazines in it as well. And let's see. Now this flyer you can download in your back office of your website. Once you have your website, you go into the marketing section of your website, and you can download the Nerium Experience flyer. And I guess for Optimera it'll say the Optimera Experience, but it just tells step by step what they're to do, which is basically just to wash their face at night, how they normally would wash their face, then take a before photo in a well-lit area with a digital camera, apply 4 to 5 pumps of the cream to very damp skin. That's very important. You want to stress that their face is wet. Very damp, and applied all over the face, down their neck, even their chest, and then in the morning they rinse that off. So I always include that, and let me show you that there's a lot of different brochures and things that you can use with the company. This is one that you can get from the company itself, the Nerium flyer. Of course, it will be Optimera for South Korea, and then on the inside it just gives some pictures and some information about the product. Now this one, look here, I did not have my label on it. This one here I do. I do. Make sure before you give anybody anything that your label is somewhere on the tool. We call these tools. Just like use a hammer as a tool to build something with, or a saw. These are tools for our business, so we call these tools. Your product is a tool. The magazine is a tool. A video that you send someone, that's a tool as well. Anything that helps you grow your business is a tool. And there's other places that you can get. We have some some companies that have been approved through Nerium to have brochures. And here's a smaller one that I like to use with people with once again, my label down at the bottom that shows all of our products. This one's about a little bit smaller than a postcard. And then there's one that I really, really like. I don't know if I brought it up here. It's about, well, I didn't bring it up here, but it's about the size of a credit card. And I really like it because on it has the instructions on how to use the product. And that way, sometimes if I don't have the experience flyer sheet that has the instructions, they would have that. But anyway, you set up an appointment to meet with your prospect, and it's recommended if you at all possibly can. I really stress you get the photo, you get the before picture. There have been some situations where maybe the person I met had a lot of makeup on, and it is better if you can get it without the makeup on. But I don't know. You can kind of decide on that. It's a catch-22. If you don't get the picture, a lot of times people will go home and take their own picture, and they don't know what they're doing. They don't take it in good lighting, or they're too far away from their camera, and they don't get a close-up shot. So it's really, really best. I really stress to you, it's really, really best if you can take the before and after photo. Natural lighting is best, so it's best if you can do it in the daytime, even outdoors when it's not really sunny, or if you do it in someone's home in natural lighting, because lighting in the house sometimes can have a lot of different colors, and it can make your face look worse or better one way or the other. So it's really best if it's in natural lighting. Try to meet at the same location to take their before and after picture, because again, lighting will vary depending on where you're at. And I also tend to think that the photos turn out better if the person is facing a lighting source. Whether it's the sunlight outside or whatever, if they're facing, you get a little bit better photo. I don't have any examples right here in this video to show you, but you can look online or look on look on my Facebook page, South Korea Loves Beautiful Skin, at some examples. We recommend that you take photos just of the front, as close up as I am in this video, at least that close. And then from the side, you want to come in and take some photos over from the side, even down in the neck area. I always ask the prospect, where are your concerns? What are you most concerned about? And try to especially make sure you take photos of that area. So anyway, you meet your prospect and you explain how to use the product. And I always like to set up the expectation so that they know what to expect. And I actually will take the bottle out and just squirt a little bit on their hand and let them have smell of it, because our product does have a little unusual scent. It's a botanical, earthy type scent. We don't have any perfumes or fragrances added to our product. That way we can say that it's all natural. If perfumes are added or fragrances are added to our product, it is not a natural product. So I always explain that, that's a botanical scent, and the word scent seems to work better with prospects than odor. If you say it has a botanical odor, the word odor tends to have some negative connotations for some reason. So if you set that expectation up so that they don't get home and then they're caught off guard with the scent, and it's not a bad scent, it's just an earthy, more natural, plant-based type scent, which I kind of like. Some people say it smells like bananas or citrusy. Most people tend to like it. So anyway, I set that expectation up. I explain them to them too, and I explain this to people before I even meet with them. I ask if they are willing to take a before and after photo. that's one requirement, and that also they allow me to touch base or to follow up with them, contact them during the week while they're using the product. And if they're not willing to do that, I just tell them it's probably best for them to not try this product, because this is my business, this is what I do, and this is my livelihood, and they should respect that. If they want to try the product for free, they should be willing to do that. And I reassure them, your photos are not going to appear on Facebook or out there in social media. It's only for you to look at, unless they want to let you. Sometimes you'll have a prospect that wants to share their before and after photos, and that's fine. But I always assure them of that, because some people are afraid you're going to post their pictures on Facebook or something. So, so after you've met with them, you've got their photo, you've set up the right expectation of explaining how to use the product, then, they go home with the product. Then it's very important, the night that they're going to start the product, you want to have their phone number, and you want to text them or call them or message them on Facebook, and just remind them before bedtime. I usually do it around 9 o'clock. I guess if you know somebody's sleep patterns, if they go to bed early or late or whatever, typically around 9 o'clock for most people is early enough to contact them. But I just remind them, hey, don't forget to use your Nerium tonight. Remember to, after you cleanse your face, to apply, keep your face moist, wet, and apply 4 to 5 pumps over your face, your neck, and your chest area. And then in the morning, rinse it off. And that's all there is to it. Then, either 1 to 2 days later, no later than 2 days after they've started the sample, I like to call them. If at all possible, call them, and don't text them. Call them and say, what did you like best? Or what do you like best so far about the product? And that's really important. That's a key thing, a key phrase to say. You do not want to say, how do you like the product? For some reason, it's just a human natural tendency when we say, what did you think about something? Our tendency in our brains is to be negative. I guess it's just human nature. So it seems to work best when we say, what did you like best? And that sort of psychologically forces the person to think of it in a positive way instead of a negative way. So that's really a key thing. And normally they'll have positive things to say about it, like, oh, I really enjoyed the tightening effect on my skin, or I really enjoyed how my face is feeling smoother. I just like the way that it feels. And I will usually just agree. Whatever they say, I agree with it. And I just say, oh, yeah, I love the tightening effect also. Or, yeah, I love how it makes my face feel softer and smoother too. And that's it. Now, typically, I will also have their email address, and I will send them at least one video while they're using the sample. And it kind of depends. You kind of have to gauge if you think this person is more just interested in the product, or if they're interested in the business, or both. If I just feel like I think they're just interested in the product, then I usually just send them a video from our communications center. And this is something when you get your website. Well, if you've already pre-enrolled, you've got your website, but you can go into the communications center and send them a video about the product, just explaining a little bit more about our company. If you sort of get the feeling, the sense that they might be interested in the business, I also additionally send them a business video that tells a little bit more about the business side of the company. And that way, while they're experiencing the product during the week, they can also watch that video. Then on day 5 or day 7, whichever day that you decide that you want to let the sample be out for, I typically, the day before, I will text that person or call them and say, hey, I need to get my bottle back tomorrow. I've got people on a waiting list. People are waiting to use the product, so I've got to come get my bottle. And just remind them the place and the time that you agreed on. That's very important in the very beginning. You want to tell them the day that you give them the sample, this is the date that I will be picking this up, and we're going to meet at this location at this time. So the night before that you go to pick your bottle up, just remind them of that, meet them, get their photo, take their picture the same same location, same spot, so the lighting is the same as much as possible. And then while the prospect is still with you there, if possible, on your phone, on your cell phone, is the easiest, best way to do it. You can download an app. I use an app called Collage, and there's several out there that you can download, and I just put their before and after photos in that so that they're side by side, and that way right there, then and there, the person can see the effects. Usually you'll see a little difference, and that's another thing I forgot to mention in the beginning. Another thing, setting the right expectation in the beginning when you first meet them. You might want to say, don't expect a miracle. This is only a sample, so don't expect a miracle. And I'll be truthful, in a week, many people, it's like a miracle occurred. They look a year younger or longer. I had a lady this past year who I know had to be close to 70 years old. And in 5 nights, I am not kidding, the lady looked 5 years younger. I am not kidding you. But most people, a week, they'll see a little difference. So it's not a miracle worker in 1 week. So it's important to tell them that in the very beginning. It's not going to be a miracle. Don't expect a miracle. It's only a sample for a week. So, when you take that after photo and you put it in your phone and you put the picture side by side, then you can show your prospect and say, well, hey, what do you see there? Do you see some differences? And usually they'll see a little bit, and just tell them, you may need a couple more weeks if they don't see a difference. We do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So it may take them a couple more weeks. So I always just encourage them to try it for a month. They have 30 days to back out of it and get a refund if they don't see it working. And 9 times out of 10, usually before day 30, they will start seeing a difference in that. So that's basically how our product prospecting system works. And I'll touch on this on another video later, but when you go to meet your prospect and to find out if they want to if they want to place the order, go ahead and have an order form with you, or have your phone or your iPad, some kind of device to place the order online. Many times you can just do it right there online for them, or they can fill out the form and you can turn it in later. But it's also a good idea to have somebody in your upline, somebody on your team, ready in case you need to have what we call a 3-way call. And we'll talk about this. You'll see some talk about this in some of the training videos. But a 3-way call is just where you have somebody on your team. It can be a leader. It can be just another team member. And when you pick up the product, then if they start asking a couple of questions, you can say, let me get somebody on the line, one of my leaders on the line, or one of my team members to answer that question, because I'm not quite sure. And then you get your team member on the phone and you let them talk to your prospect, and it is really amazing what that does in the mindset of the prospect, just hearing somebody else reaffirming what you're already saying. And it kind of takes away from you being the only one talking about the product. So we'll get more into 3-way calls at another time. So that's basically it. And remember, label all your tools, your bottles, your brochures, your magazines. Very important, and very important to follow up with your prospect during the week. Don't just let them take the sample and be gone with it for a week, because sometimes they will forget to use it, and then you're going to be behind. You have other people waiting to use the bottle. So that's the basics of our product prospecting system. Hope this was helpful to you, and tune in next time. I'll have another video for you. All right, thanks friends. Bye.